Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world today. Susan Pierce here with Eden's Living TV, and I have one of my favorites. She's actually a consult for my show, Dr. Delayne. Used to be Gratopp Dr. G, and now your married name is?
Dr. Jaguar.
Dr. Jaguar. Dr. Delayne is a naturopathic medical doctor. She's a consultant in the New York, Connecticut area, and she's an expert, yes, expert, ladies and gentlemen, in the field of functional and integrative medicine. She didn't go to an online naturopathic college. She went to a 4-year medical school. She helps people with environmental illnesses such as mold, cancers, and she also is an avid dancer. Cha-cha-cha. She's my sister from another mister, and a hiker in New England area. I know she is also a photographer and artist. So welcome, Dr. G, to the show.
Thanks so much for having me back again. I appreciate it. I love being on your show as always. It's always great to see you.
And it's wonderful because you're my naturopathic tribe. And as I always tell people, we're kind of like the little unicorns over here. We believe to getting to the root cause and not just throwing pharma at you. Go ahead and tell us, what is your definition of naturopathic integrative medicine?
So I think naturopathic medicine specifically differs from functional medicine and integrative in the world, in the fact that they go for root cause. Mm-hmm. They look for the root cause, versus when you go to a functional medicine who's had traditional medical training, allopathic as we call it, they learn to treat the symptoms, and we go for what is the cause. Let's remove the cause, and then we will treat the symptoms, of course, but when you remove the cause, often the symptoms will go away. So I think it's just a different way of looking at things, different way of approaching a patient is a way to look and see that what's causing this. Is it physical, environmental, mental, emotional? Is it a combination of all three? What can we do to fix those? And then once we fix those, often you need much less to throw at the symptoms.
You know what I just heard you say that no allopathic doctor will ever utter? It's mind, body, and spirit. It's the emotional component. For 25 years after I laid in bed after my car wreck, I truly believe that the emotional pain of my family, my parents died and my brothers and sisters did not support me. I believe a lot of my dis-ease, out of ease, is because I didn't have love and support.
100%. And there are actually studies that show that. There are, particularly in the case of breast cancers, there's a lot of studies that show people who don't have partners, support and love, and can't express themselves are more apt to get breast cancers. I have several patients that have autoimmune diseases from, kind of lack of support and abandonment, things like that.
Yeah, abandonment. So people don't realize abandonment is a big deal. If you don't feel like you have anybody in the world to love you. I recently, Dr. Delayne has been sick too. We kind of have helped each other tremendously. Yes. She had a black mold exposure. I had a mold exposure. You gained how much weight? 100 and...
close to 100 pounds. I had a year and 2 months total in the mold. So in this most recent exposure. So it was about, it was close to 100 pounds.
And honestly, people like, oh, you know what? I actually got real upset with a friend of mine because she was watching your story and she's like, she's a health coach. She's overweight. I went, did you not just hear the woman that she was in mold and you don't gain 100 pounds because you weren't even taking in the calories? Nothing changed. Nope. You didn't increase your diet. You weren't drinking alcohol, making you fat. Mold makes you tell them it makes you swell. How does mold affect the body? Tell them.
Well, so mold is a toxin, right? And fat is a toxin storage unit. That's what it's for. It's there for two reasons. Fat stores toxins, and fat also, back in the day when we starved through the winter, we would put on fat to use as storage. So it's a storage vehicle and it's a storage for toxins. So when someone like me is exposed to mold, in order to save my organs, my body puts on weight. And so, honestly, the fat saves me from having more dire consequences of mold. Unfortunately, yes, I get fat. It's not pleasant, but it does save me from having heart problems. It could attack, you remember the mold exposure that attacked my hips, and I had 2 hip replacements. So thankfully, nothing like that happened on this particular mold exposure, but it was quite a significant weight gain. I've been out since June and down 30 pounds just being out detoxing. So it comes right back off once you are out of the dire situation that you're in. Your body is trying to protect itself. We constantly barrage our bodies with these, we get angry, like, oh, my body's not doing the right thing. I've gained this weight. Let me starve myself. That's not the right way to go. Your body's helping yourself. Your body's helping itself. You need to be patient with it. And honestly, you, Sue, if you recall correctly, during my detox, doctors are the worst patients. You just have to know
I have to remind her. I'm like, okay, did you do your binder, your detox? And Delayne's like, no.
Yeah,
I'm like,
so I was just very concerned with getting the mold out of my body. And we happened to have just a call one day, and I was just, I was in so much pain. Yes. I was so sad. I was so just kind of depressed. And she was like,
you were not even wanting to be here.
You have detoxed too hard today. Like, you have to stop. And I was like, well, maybe I could jump in my infrared sauna. And you were like, no more detox.
Yeah, I was like, Delayne, you're a doctor. You're going to You're going to have a Herxmeyer reaction. I was like, Delayne, you're one of the top detox doctors in the country. And when you are like me, when I'm sick, you're sick. You can't think. You're just in pain.
Brain fog.
Yeah, brain fog. Let's talk about the brain fog with mold. How does mold attack the brain?
So the thing is mold's alive, right? It's a fungus, and it's trying to fight to stay alive in your body. And so the thing is when you go to try and kill it, so different symptoms for different people in mold. So for this particular mold, I had no pain like the other one where I was in 12 out of 10 pain. But this one, I didn't have any pain getting the mold. Now coming out, I'm having all the pain. The inflammation is coming out like pain. But I had a lot of brain fog in the exposure. I couldn't remember people's names that I had known for 10 years.
Wow, I didn't realize it had gotten that bad. I knew at one point you were not wanting to live, and I was like, it's the mold. You know it's the mold. Mold makes you suicidal. Come on, girl. And we have really kept each other accountable and reminded each other this is the process.
For the whole time we've known each other, I think.
Yeah, you and I, we've known each other lifetimes. So, we have fought many battles in life together. In just being a naturopathic person, the normal societal person doesn't understand. They look at us like quacks. But when you have someone, she is also, you infuse for cancer, you do IV infusions, you as an infusionist, she knows how to detox the body. Now, she does know how to bind and use binders, but again, when you have brain fog, you kind of forget when you're in pain. And when you're in a 12-level pain, the bear will bite you if you poke the bear. Be careful poking the bear. I love your cut, though. That's too cute. So when you're having this exposure, let's talk about the steps. We're about 18 minutes in. Let's talk about, I have mold. Let's talk about how they can tell if they have mold. What physical symptoms? What does it look like in a house? What is your animal? You've lost an animal to mold.
I have, yes.
And it will kill animals because their livers cannot metabolize the mold.
Yes, I've lost 2 animals to mold. Yes, so the different molds, different things. Obviously, there are 400,000 species of fungus. So for someone like me who has 4 of the genetic markers and it's not an allergy to mold, it is an inability to detox mold out of your body. So we're talking even the molds that are in, let's say, when they say don't eat out of the bins at a grocery store, right? Don't grab the nuts out of a bin.
Well, the nuts are full of mold. I didn't know that. I just found out that nuts are mold. I'm not supposed to be eating histamine foods.
Nuts have aspergillus on them, especially those nuts that have been sitting a long time, like walnuts and pecans that have the grooves. They pick up mold by sitting in warehouses, waiting to be packaged and things like that. They have one of the highest mold counts.
Yeah, I gave up nuts. I love nuts, but as you said, high mold counts.
Well, and there's certain companies that you can find that have good coffee, good nuts, good things like that are non-moldy, but you have to search them out, honestly.
Yeah, all you coffee drinkers, every day you drink coffee, tell them, they're drinking mold.
They really are. Yes.
And then you wonder why you have Parkinson's, Alzheimer's when you get older. Let's talk about brain fog real quickly and what we can do about brain fog, because I know a lot of people They're like, Susan, my allergies, I'm in my house, my eyes run all the time, I'm coughing, you're bruising easily. These are things, your weight gain, even weight loss can be mold, right? Can't weight loss be mold?
It can. A certain amount of people do have weight loss, correct, yes. So it's a variety of symptoms depending on the mold, honestly. So it could be fatigue, it could be brain fog, it could be the histamine-like reactions like allergies, hay fever, things like that. But for me, there's been 3 mold exposures where I've had no coughing, no sniffling, no anything to do with respiratory symptoms.
Wow.
It was strictly neurological and pain and joint related. So it doesn't have to be the things that you think, you know, like, oh, I can, and I couldn't smell the mold in either of the two.
Are you kidding me? 'Cause that's the first thing I can smell. Mold is like a wet dog smell. If it is in all these North Carolina people, I'm praying for you. Florida people, Augusta, Georgia, I'm praying. If your houses, do not use bleach on this.
Oh, please don't use bleach.
Please tell them why not to use bleach.
Please use ammonia. I know it smells like cat urine. I apologize, but I didn't make it, but it works.
Tell them what bleach does to mold.
Bleach actually just takes away the color of it, and it actually has some water in it, so it actually, in essential, feeds it. So you basically have cleaned it and fed it. So then it's like, oh, thank you for cleaning me up and give me some water, and then I'm just going to, flourish. So
microspores.
And it's terrible for you. Mycotoxins, it will break into mycotoxins. It'll fly all over your house. Please don't use bleach to clean up
hydrogen
mold.
peroxide, vinegar. Vinegar's huge.
Yeah, vinegar is great. Ammonia is the best. I would say vinegar would be my next choice.
Will you please tell people, make them understand that you have to get rid of everything in your house, your clothes,
that
your
is
shoes.
The biggest thing I come up against with my patients is that, unfortunately, people who have the genes like me will not actually be able to move back into those homes, period, end of story. The remediation will not be good enough for them, unfortunately. Now, that's only 33% of the population. So 75%, 70 to 75%, they're going to be able to get back in there and get it remediated and be okay. But the 33% like us will not be able to move back into a moldy home.
Dr. G, how did you know you had a pathway problem? Tell my audience why you can't get rid of mold. How does that work in the body? I'm sitting here as a layperson going, what?
Okay, so that's a genetic. It's called a SNP. We call them SNPs. It's a single nucleotide polymorphism. Basically, DNA has 2 strands, right? And when you have, and there's a letter on either strand, when one of your letters is messed up on either side, that's a single nucleotide polymorphism. So it's in the HLA-D-B area, which is, it's too much for most people.
Is this genetic testing? You're talking about nucleotides. They have to go get a genetic test to see if they have the mutation.
Yes, but LabCorp and Quest both do them. I
don't do 23andMe, y'all. Please don't. You said LabQuest and LabCorp?
I did it through LabCorp.
Okay.
Yes.
And Delayne can also, if you will, we'll at the end let you know how to get a hold of her. She can order all these tests. If you have hormones, if you have the cancers, if you have a mold problem, I'm telling you, her and Candace Bradstreet are the top 2 people in this country. She's lived this. She understands and has empathy. She almost died and lost 2 animals in her hips, and have you replaced the knee, or do they want to replace the knee?
They wanted to replace the knee, but once I got out of mold, I was able to heal it back.
Oh, hallelujah. See, you can't heal.
Yeah. They couldn't believe it. They were like, how did you get some of your cartilage back? And I was like, walking and exercise.
Because mold eats your joint tissues. That's why it ate, literally, listen to me. If you want to live, if you're in a moldy house, and if you want your children to have brains that work and not kill your animals, please leave your house. Remediation doesn't always work.
Please also understand that your possessions, I know people want to keep them, but I'm going to tell you that I've been through 5 couches, 4 beds, all of my medical school books gone.
See, I lost one of my medical books too. That just killed me.
Gone. Oh, it was horrible. That was I think the worst for me was my library. I was like, but wait, all my books, and and I still have ones that I have signed by doctors who've passed away that were my mentors in a box somewhere, hoping that I can ozonate them at some point.
I have an
But I
ozone
don't know if I
machine.
can.
When I come visit, I'll bring my ozone machine.
And maybe,
Yeah, maybe.
you know, back after my first one, when we had our first interview, I had kept, you know, us in our professional clothes. So I had kept several blazers that were dry clean only and my favorites, and I had them in a bag. And I could not smell any mold in that first exposure. So all I had was this very small brown spot above my living room couch. That was it. No, couldn't smell it in the basement. Smelled a little musty, I'll say.
Yeah, musky is always a clue.
Always a clue.
Always.
But what I think was happening was it was from the upstairs bathroom in between the adobe ceiling was completely, absolutely riddled with mold.
Wow.
It was a home from 1906. And so I had these in a bag. And a year later, after detoxing, getting my hips replaced, back to hiking, exercising, dancing, I go into that closet and I thought, all right, let me get these out and let me just see. I opened that bag and the smell that hit me was, first of all, it didn't smell like mold, but I could smell that it was something that I was not used to. The smell that hit me almost knocked me over.
Wow.
Instantly, I had a mold reaction. Instantly. Started sweating, started getting in pain, tied them right back up.
My ears get hot when I'm around mold. I
start sweating.
Yeah, I get really thermally hot, and then my eyes start itching, and then I have, like, nose just runs. I had aspergillus, and I noticed getting ready, I've had some fungus take away. Is there anything I can do to get my melanated back, or is it gone? I'm going to have to get biofeedback. Are you using my biofeedback that I sent you? Because that's killing.
Yes.
Okay, when you get through with that, we'll talk. I'll make sure you're hooked up.
And I just got a vibration plate to move the lymph. And
you did. You got your vibration plate.
Yep. And, you know, I have my infrared sauna, my portable infrared sauna, which I love, of course. That's always a great detox tool. These are things you can do in your own home.
Yes, but again, let's talk about what they can do. We've got 9:45 left. Let's talk about some applications of protocols that they can do that you use.
Definitely, yes. So there's a couple different ways. So if you want to go the pharmaceutical route, there is a way to go. Fluconazole is the general pharmaceutical that you can use. So tough on your liver, though. It is very tough on your liver. It's very tough on your gut. So if you do choose to use that, you have to use other gut healing protocols with it. Like you have to be taking L-glutamine without any protein to be healing the gut. You have to be taking probiotics because the fluconazole is going to kill everything that it hits. You have to take the fluconazole away from everything. Cholestyramine is a binder. That is a binder they use for high cholesterol, but it also does bind anything that is killed in your digestive system and in your bloodstream, and that's very helpful. So that's like the pharmaceutical angle to hit if you'd like to do that. Sometimes I hit the pharmaceutical to start out with just to get a good kill in there. But then I go to something called Orthoflora, which is a broad spectrum yeast killer, which is fungal. It also is antiviral and antibacterial, so it's going to kill if you've got some parasites in there, if you got some other little
full of parasites.
yeasties, right? So it's going to kill all of those. The other thing I use that I really like for a binder is something called Gastro Cleanse. It's got activated charcoal, psyllium husk.
Psyllium husk.
Yeah, psyllium husk.
I had a friend of mine that cured her dog's diabetes. I didn't hear that last part. What'd you say?
It's like a little broom, and it brooms everything through your colon.
Absolutely. I didn't realize that. Yeah. That's amazing. Yes, she cured her dog's diabetes by corn husk.
Oh, yeah. That'll,
crazy?
Because it really does. It really does help with, yes, it'll soak everything up. It's a great fiber, but you have to drink a lot of water with it, as always. Yes. And, you know what I find with people drinking water is, I've noticed most often, is people think they're drinking enough water, and maybe they are, but they're also going to the bathroom a lot, and they're not, because we filter so much of our water, we're filtering out the minerals and the electrolytes, and instead of having to buy a $3 bottle of water, you could simply put some Celtic sea salt in
I use Celtic sea salt. You're getting your 84 trace minerals. It's a little expensive, but you can get it on Amazon. You can get it at Walmart.
Fantastic.
I do Celtic salt, a little granule underneath my tongue before I drink to bring in all the hydration to the cell wall.
100%. It helps get the hydration through the cell wall. I just recently had a patient who had, he's so compliant. He takes all the supplements. He does everything right. He tracks his macros. He does everything. He tracks his sleep. And he's like, I always have to get up and go to the bathroom. And I'm like, put some sea salt in your water before you go to bed. And the first night, he texts me the next morning. He goes, this is the first night in 3 years I haven't had to get up to go to the bathroom.
That's huge. That is huge for when you're trying to get people, healed. Sleep is so important to get into that realms. It's huge. Tell them how important sleep is. I'll let you, the doctor, tell them.
Sleep is so important because if you do not get enough sleep, your cortisol will raise. You will be in fight or flight, and you will not be able to heal. And that is just the facts. So if I could circle back to what you can do in your home, one, you have to get out of the mold. And the things that you should look for real quick are bubbling paint. That's a big one. Cracks in your the crevices, cracks in the grout.
Foundation too. In your foundation, in the walls.
In the walls, cracks. I had cracks in the between my trim on the stairs and the wall. It cracked.
And look underneath your sinks. Most mold, there's usually a water leak under the kitchen. I had a kitchen. You've lived through all my water. I've had 8 water leaks in my home. And then I had my garage flood where water was over my ankles 3 times, and Delayne has gotten the phone call in the middle of the night going, I'm in hell, Delayne, help me, it's mold on my... And she came and stayed with me when she did her TV show, and you had a reaction in my home, and that's when I knew, oh, wow, I've got to get someone out here. And I paid $10,000 and had someone come in and do the ventilation systems and do the vinegar and spray it. Fortunately, I didn't have to lose all of my books. He was able, but most of my books that got wet, all my medical books, all of my university, all of my pharmaceutical training modules. That's what I just But I guess God didn't want me lost. And you sit there and you're in the losing things, but you have to remember those are just things in your life, in your health, in your well-being are everything. Your quality of life. You got to have quality of life.
I have to say that people keep telling me to move to the desert or something like that, but I've also had a mold exposure in Arizona.
You lived over in Arizona for how many years?
10 years.
10 years. And they're telling her to move to the desert.
And I had a mold exposure and gained weight there because mold happens in a home. It's not, outside. And trust me, there's plenty of toxins in the desert that you can be exposed to.
Plenty of toxins, and let's talk about we're at the 4-minute mark, so we're going to have to hurry up a little bit here, but let's talk about environmental toxins in general and what you need to be aware of. And I want to talk about your hot baths that you do, because that's so key that people can do easy peasy stuff like that.
Easy. Oh, yeah, first of all, Epsom salt baths, that is my key to pain. If anyone is in pain,
that
Epsom salt bath is your friend. And when I say Epsom salt bath, I'm saying 2 cups of Epsom salt per bath, like the full 2 cup of your Pyrex, 2 cups.
You know what I tell my clients? Per 50 pounds, I want a cup of Epsom. So if you're 150, I want 3 cups of Epsom salt, and I use baking soda and also use borax to kill.
I add a little baking soda sometimes. I also add sea salt just to get a little absorption because you can absorb water through your skin. I add sea salt, but I'm going to tell you, go to Walmart or go to CVS and buy those 8-pound bags of magnesium.
Yes.
Do not go buy fancy,
spray
Epsom
for $8.
No, don't buy. I'm sorry, Doctor. I'm not going to mention the name, but
don't
Dr.
mention names.
Epsom salt. Buy CVS or Walmart 8-pound bag for $5. Walmart is actually
you go into the garden section. I get the big bags of magnesium, 15-pound bags.
Oh yeah, you can get them at a farm store. You can get a 50-pound one at a farm store.
You can get a bottle and put like a fourth of the bottom with flakes, magnesium flakes, and then put the water on top, and you've just made your own magnesium spray for $1 versus $12 or $20 for magnesium sprays.
100%. 100%. Magnesium is so important, honestly. That's another thing that if I could say anything, that mold strips you of magnesium and B vitamins.
I'm always low.
You really need to replenish those because they really, and those will cause mental and emotional changes in you that you don't recognize. And you will start to feel different, and you actually genuinely feel like you are having all of these different emotions, but in reality, it's a physiological reaction to what's happening.
And you're not crazy. Me and Delayne, we keep each other accountable, and we really are each other's. Like, when she's having a bad day, I'm the helper. When I'm having a bad day, there's my Dr. G. Like, girl, you got this. You know this is mold. Okay, guys, we're going to have to start wrapping it up here. We've talked about Epsom salt. We've talked about buying magnesium, big bags, making your own spray. We've talked about what mold looks like, looking for the peeling of the paint, looking up underneath the sinks, the smelly dog smell. Do not use bleach. Please use vinegar or ammonia. And let me know how they can, please let my audience know how they can find you.
Absolutely.
And get appointments.
I'm on integrativemedicalconsulting.com is my website.
You're a concierge also, doctor. Let them know. You're a concierge.
I am. I'm a concierge doctor and integrative medical consultant. So I consult anywhere around the United States. So you can give me a call. My number is on my website. Also, you can also find me on Instagram at drg_NYC on Instagram and TikTok. And I believe that's all.
All right, Dr. G, you are always welcome here. She's my bestie. I tell you, I just love you to pieces. I really do. And thank you for supporting me in my dreams and my journey. You are very much part of that. But if y'all have enjoyed today programs like this, y'all please do check in. And thank you, New Manna Foods, for sponsoring. If y'all like these shows, be sure to go to Facebook. Look for Eden's Living TV. I'm on BitChute, Rumble, Instagram. You'll be seeing these shows on CTN. You can download the app, and you'll be able to watch it anywhere in the United States as we are live. Remember, you can heal one bite, one prayer, one thought at a time. And you are not your disease. Don't wear that jersey. Know that you can heal. You can. Y'all have a great day.